So actually, we are here from Christ University, Delhi, and we're here to take your interview
Right.
regarding our entrepreneurship development subject.
Sure.
So before we start everything, can you tell us your job title?
So I'm the founder of Entrepreneurly. I am also a partner in Triple Eight VC, which is a VC fund that we are running, an angel platform basically. So I'm part of multiple projects that way. Yeah.
Great. So my first question to you is, can you tell us about the founding story of your company and what inspired you to start this venture?
Sure. So with Entrepreneurly, I'll tell you, since Entrepreneurly was the first venture I started, and at the time I was also studying. So I was also studying for CA. I'm a chartered accountant as well. So around that time, I always knew I had that entrepreneurial bug in me where I wanted to start something, and I always knew that there will be something that I will initiate, but not too sure on what exactly would it be. So I was just trying to figure out around my profession what could I really do, and I saw startups really booming in. The startup space really was highlighted around that time, and I thought there was a very good need, for a firm which can basically provide end-to-end support to anyone who's looking to start, to any future entrepreneur. So that's how we sort of came about with an idea for Entrepreneurly, and I had my partner who was an architect and a visual designer. So he helped me design the website. We started working on design aspects, marketing, those kind of things. I was a legal financial person, so I was taking care of those things. So we kind of got that synergy, and then that's how we started in 2018. Yeah.
Okay. So my second question to you is, please describe the initial stages of your company and what were the key milestones that you've achieved in the first year?
First day was actually quite slow. I wouldn't say it was. It was like we started and we just skyrocketed. Nothing of that sort happened. And I think that is the journey of most entrepreneurs. Of course, if you look at the names that you hear on a regular basis and the big unicorn founders and those kind of things, there's always a backstory of failures and a slow start and sort of delays, which we don't get to hear so much, which we really see the tip of the iceberg. So it's always a slow start. That's how it was. I think it was all a mix of trial and error. So that's how we started, and I think starting from the first meeting, which was, I think, the worst meeting possibly to imagine. So I kind of went really unprepared. We somehow got a lead on our website who wanted to raise funds for their specific sector through government grants. So I had no idea about anything. I just had a little bit of idea about. I just did my research on whatever I could find about that particular sector, about that industry, and I was like, okay, it's the first lead, so I was already too excited to meet the person. I was like, let's find out. And this person was very, very experienced. They had 35 years experience. They'd worked in Singapore. They'd worked in multiple other countries, and they were coming from that kind of experience. So they probably expected someone extremely experienced to come up and take the call and guide them on the same. And looking at me, he realized that I came very unprepared, and the meeting really was the worst, probably the worst meeting I could have imagined for a first client call. So that was disheartening, but at the same time, I learned a lot about how to prepare, how to sort of be prepared for such encounters in future as well. So make yourself aware and know about what's happening around you, know about the sector that you're working in. Especially when you're going for a client meeting, you have to be prepared with all the facts of the case. You have to be prepared with what potential questions they might ask. So all those things. So yeah, it was a good learning experience.
All right. So moving on to the next question. What were the most significant challenges that you faced during your entrepreneurial journey?
Uh, Plenty. I think COVID was one big challenge, though I don't really look at it as challenge because I think it gave us a little bit of a downtime to think and probably decide the next course for our company. So I think that was a little bit of slowdown, but in a good way. You could utilize. A lot of people utilized it for launching their own businesses. A lot of new opportunities came up as well. So of course, I think that was one of those. But again, I got a chance to grow my LinkedIn network around the same time, and maybe sit at home and learn more about some new skills, learn more about some new areas, possible avenues for growth. So those kind of things. So that was there, and then eventually there have been small and big challenges that do keep coming. So that's I think a part of the journey. So yeah.
All right. Moving on to next, how did you overcome these challenges? What strategies or resources did you leverage?
It really is more challenge specific. I mean, I I would say it's all about keeping yourself updated with what's happening in that industry, and especially in the startup space. Like last year, you would have seen this growth in LLM models. AI has really is really boomed. Before that, you would see a big jump in crypto space and bitcoins, this and that. Prior to that, there would be something other. So AIML, all these things have really there's so much evolution happening in the tech space and the startup space all the time. It's like if you take a moment to blink, it's like 1,000 things would have happened in that time, right? So it's always important to keep yourself aware and know your market, most importantly, and then keep going, keep experimenting, keep trying, and then something good will come out of it for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so ma'am, my question to you is
Yeah.
describe your company's business model and what are your key revenue streams and cost structures?
So basically, we are, like I said, we are a platform for startups and for investors. So we do provide various services for startups, various kind of support systems that we do help startups with, especially the early stage startups up until Series A, pre-Series B as well. So right from the incorporation to setting up of the company, to getting the right licenses, to securing funding for the startup, to creating a pitch deck, getting funding ready, to UI UX design, to market research, we help them with each and everything that any particular startup might look for, any entrepreneur might look for. And these are services that especially early stage and young startups would generally need. So that is where we come in, and help them in that way. For the VC fund, of course, we help them, introduce them to our angel network, and we help them raise funding through our angel investors. So that is it.
Okay. So ma'am, my next question to you is what is your current growth strategies and how do you plan to expand your business shares and achieve sustainable growth?
Oh, wow, that's a difficult question. I think we are always figuring out answers to such questions. As of now, I think we focus more on organic growth, and we focus more on SEO and trying to see whether through content or through through our own network, we try and generate most of our leads through that. So that is mostly organic. We're not really into running a lot of ads or running a lot of social media marketing campaigns and those kind of things. They are very, very helpful for certain businesses, and we have tried that in the past, but right now we're not actively doing that. And we have recently expanded in several other markets as well, in UAE markets. My partner also launched in US a couple of years back. So we are diverting our attention more on UAE markets right now, and then eventually India has always been a focal point, but it's also about taking Indian startups global. So we focus on those as well.
Okay, ma'am. So moving on to the next question. What are the most important entrepreneurial skills and qualities for success?
I think hard work goes without saying. Of course, you have to be hardworking. Just sitting and of course nowadays, I think everything is pretty much accessible and available at your fingertips, at your home. You can just learn so many skills. You can learn so many things about in so many different sectors and so many different spaces. You can pretty much learn anything and everything for free sitting at home. So that is not a challenge anymore. Now I think the biggest challenge is how do you apply that skill, execution, and putting that into place without even when you're not seeing the expected results. You have to keep trying, you have to keep doing. So perseverance really plays a very big role. Like I said, when there are downfalls, a lot of people give up around that time, and a lot of startups, like there's a very famous stat in the startup world, like, right, 98% of startups fail in the first year, and out of those 60% of them fail in the next 2 years as well. So that's a big number, and that is clearly a sign that something is not right when it comes to being perseverance, showing that sort of skill, and a lot of entrepreneurs sort of see that downfall happen. So that is, I think, one of the key things. Apart from that, I think everything else is more person specific. You need to be adaptable. You need to be a good learner. You need to keep at it. So those things.
Okay, so ma'am, my next question is like, how have you developed these skills throughout your entrepreneurial journey? Like, you can highlight your personal experience, your mentorship, education, anything.
I think education definitely played a big role in this. Like I said, I'm a finance professional, so of course, that expertise and that professional experience really helped me. And as part of our CA curriculum as well, we are basically we have to complete 3 years of articleship under a practicing CA. Before I started, I was in a job as well, so I worked with multiple organizations, and post that as well, I sort of did a few projects, audit projects with some of these. But I think apart from what that course taught me, I think it's the journey of studying through such a rigorous and extensive course. You have to study a lot, and of course it's infamous for people failing and giving multiple attempts. So those things really teach you a lot across the journey. You learn how to embrace failure. You learn how to, and it's not like people who are not hardworking are failing. It's people who are very studious and very hardworking, and they fail as well. So then you understand that life is not always fair, and it's not always a cakewalk, right? So those kind of things, I think the education background definitely helped in that a lot. So yeah, I think. Was there a second part to your question? I think that answers your question. Yeah? Okay.
Uh, okay, ma'am. So I want to know that how do you differentiate your company from competitors in the market? Like, what is a unique selling proposition?
Right. I think one of the key differentiators when we started, and I think which stands true even till now, is of course getting that 360-degree support under one umbrella in one company. Generally would have, of course, firms who are doing marketing, who are doing research. There will be firms who are doing fundraising. There will be companies who are providing financial services, or let's say a part of the entire gamut of things that we do. Since we are pretty much omnipresent and pretty much doing everything, that gives our team that benefit of being able to understand the business, and then helping them and gauging where they need help, and sort of helping them across different sectors. So there would be times when somebody, let's say a startup, comes to us for, let's say, fundraising, and then they are not too sure of their own pitch deck and they would need some help. So we provide some help in that. Then through making of that process, they would realize there's some issue with marketing, execution, or let's say strategizing, or there's some issue with the business model. So our experts come in, we help them out, figuring out that part of the business as well. So it's about filling in the gaps and seeing where they need that help, and being able to provide that in every sector possible. At the same time, startups are not able to do this also because they're not able to find the right people who understand this space, because there would be there would be a legal firm, for example, who are very experienced in their line of business, but they may not have the right expertise when it comes to the startup space. So they need very specialized expertise, because these are high growth early stage companies, and they would need that kind of people who are dynamic as well, who are able to understand what process they're going to go through. So that is why I think that's where we stand out.
Okay, so ma'am, my next question to you is that how have you developed and honed the skill throughout your entrepreneurial?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Okay, what role does failure play in your entrepreneurial journey? Like, how important is it to embrace and learn from mistakes?
I think failure plays just as important role. I think everyone should see failure at least once. And I think in entrepreneurship you'd see very small failures every now and then. There would be something that may not work out. I mean, it depends on your perspective also how you see failure. But yeah, I mean, it's important to see and face the failure and then to get up and see what you were doing wrong and trying to see the fault or see the flaws and trying to do, an analysis of the same and then moving on with the right path. And you may go wrong 10,000 times, 15,000 times, doesn't matter. It's about the next time that you get up and go ahead and sort of do the same thing with the same rigor and with a different perspective, maybe with some learning. So learning, I think, comes from failures, and that is something which everyone should go through. If you don't fail, you don't learn, right? So yeah.
Okay, ma'am, my next question to you is that how do you maintain motivation and perseverance during challenging times?
I think motivation comes from within. So it all depends on how you keep fueling your own passion, your own energy, your own your own spirit, that you keep fueling, that you keep telling that okay, there's a reason why I started what I started, and there's a certain vision that you attach to it. And if you're very clear about the end goal, if you're very clear on why you started, why you're doing what you're doing, and what your vision is with that, and if you're yet not sure on how you're going to achieve, but you know where you want to be, I think that should be enough to motivate you. Every day when you wake up, you're like, this is a life I want, or this is where I want to be in life, but I haven't yet been able to achieve that. I think that should be enough motivation. Sometimes there could be motivation you could draw from outside as well, from people around you. You might have some role models, people that you see and look up to. Those kind of things always matter, of course. That could really help. But I think nothing better than inner motivation. At the end of the day, you have to push yourself. So that is, there's nothing like that. So that is where motivation comes from.
Okay, so my last question to you is that what advice would you give to your aspiring entrepreneurs, like valuable insights or lesson learned or words of encouragement?
I think only thing I would say is if you're thinking of starting and if you have an idea, and there are plenty of people out there who have ideas but never act on them, and you think there is something that you could make of it, there's some value you can add, then definitely give it a shot. And giving it a shot means give it a try. You may have your own reservations, you may have your own things to take care of. There could be finances, there could be other things, or you may be a student. No matter what stage you are in, of course, if you're a student, studies take priority over everything else, but make sure to give it a shot and keep working on it, and do give it a shot, as in give it a try with your whole heart. Make the product, create an MVP, create a beta version, create a sample, I don't know, do whatever you can to see if there can be any use for what you're thinking, and if there's a real case scenario where what you're planning to launch is of some use in the real world. And if you think that is the case, please give it a shot. A lot of people have ideas, and then 5 years, 10 years down the line, either they would see some other person implementing it, executing it, and being successful in it, and they're like, oh, I could be in their place. And there are people who, let's say, go for a corporate career, and they're in jobs for 15, 20, 25 years of their lives, and then they're like, oh, I could have done that, but now it's too late. So that also happens. Then there are people who work in, let's say, a job for, let's say, 30 years, 35 years, and still are able to launch something after that. So it's never too late. No matter when you get some idea, no matter what stage you think it is in, or no matter how unprepared you are, please start working on it, and start today. Today is the best time. Now is the best time to start. So do not delay and think, oh, one day I'll do this. So it should always be like, right now is the best time, always, no matter how unprepared you are. So that's the only advice I'll give.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am, for your time.
Thank you.
And ma'am, my last request, ma'am,